Chapter 8, the Web Storage API. Hey guys, so we are getting there, I promise. This is the last tool we're going to talk about before we actually start building our app. But this one's just going to make our life a lot easier because as we saw with our other things, our state lived in the browser. So if somebody closed the browser, boom, everything's gone in terms of all we have is the URL. So they can go back to that same website, but for things like the cart and their theme selection, we need to leverage an additional API for those things. And for that, we're going to use the Web Storage API. And we are going to use localStorage for ours. And essentially, it's just very easy, really. They make it really, really nice and simple. And so we're just going to check out this code real quick, and then I'll show you how it works. So we have the same thing that we've been doing before. Everything's the same except for our index.html is just a little bit different. We're only going to have one of these containers this time, and it's exactly the same, but we're going to do a little color picker. These HTML5 inputs are really, really awesome. Literally, all you have to do is do input type color, and you're going to see how cool it is. So we're just going to have this, and it's just going to say, hey, this container is going to remember your color, even if you close the browser. And the way the script's going to work is we're going to grab that container, and we're going to have a color picker. That's our input that we made earlier. We're going to see if there is a color in local storage, and that's if anybody's been to our website before. And if there is one, then we're going to go ahead and set that container to that color. And we're going to say that the color picker value is now that color, so that it's automatically that way whenever they press into it. And then we're going to put a little event listener into that input, and in that, every time that it changes, we want to take that target value, and we want to take that, and we want to make that into the background color of the container, and then we want to save it as the favorite color in the local storage. That's all. It's just about 10 lines of script, and that's all it takes to save your favorite color. So let's see how this works. Let's go ahead and load it up. We got to get our server started before I forget again. And as you can see, I already have a favorite color. And the way that you can check this is you can go and look into the local storage. I mean, this wouldn't have a color, and you'll see that. But we can go look into our local storage by pressing F12. And then we can load up the application tab over here. And right over here in storage, we have local storage right here. And this is this website, our local host. And as you can see, we already have a cart. We're going to go and delete that. We already have a theme. We're going to go and delete that. And this is the favorite color that I chose. And when we delete that, you'll see that whenever I refresh this page, nothing is in there because the script's looking for a favorite color, but there's nothing there. And so nothing's even able to be put into the input because it's set to be preset to whatever our favorite color is, if you remember. So we're going to pick maybe a nice little pink here, something like that. You know me. And there we go. So it's going to be there, and it's now been saved into local storage. And if we press F12 again and go back into this application tab, we can see that apparently that's BA08DD, obviously. So we can refresh, and the script checks for the favorite color, finds it, sets the input and the container color to our favorite color. And it's really as simple as that. You can set it, and you can get it. Set it, get it, key name, and then you give it a value. And in this case, it's just a string, which is the target value coming from there. But you can put an object in here, as we will later with the cart. Hey guys, the article gets much more in depth, but I just wanted to show off this table that I've been working on. I'm still not sure how I feel about it, but I'm thinking in terms of single page applications, when you think about how your data is, you got to think about what type of data are you trying to store that you need to be there after the browser is closed? Do you need it to be persistent? How important is it, and how complex is it? So I say that in a single page application, you should only use cookies if it's transient data that's unimportant and simple. You should only use HTTP only cookies if it's transient data that's important and simple, like an authorization. And then a session storage there's not much use for, in my opinion, in a single page application. Maybe breadcrumbs if you're coming from another page or something. And transient, unimportant, complex data, there's not a lot of that. And then for us, we need a cart to be persistent, but it's unimportant and it's simple. If it was more important and complex, we might think about using the IndexedDB web API. And I'm still not super happy with this. I'm working on it. We'll see. All right, that's going to be it for this week. Not for this week, until 12 hours from now. I'm probably going to actually increase the rate of releasing these just to get it over with, because I realize that this is going to be a couple more videos than I thought, and I want to get it done with as soon as possible. So probably about 8 hours every 8 hours after that. We'll see.